Welcome to the Still Point Podcast, where we explore how to find calm in the middle of chaos, and why the disciplines of jitsu and stoicism might be the best tools we have for getting there. I was on Reddit the other day and I saw a post on the BJJ subreddit. Someone got promoted, a new belt. His coach called him up, tied it around his waist, the whole thing. And his post read something like, "I just got promoted and honestly I don't feel like I'm ready." And the comments were full of people telling him that that's a sign of a true martial artist, that humility is the mark of someone who really gets it, that feeling unready means you're self-aware. But I left a different comment. I told him that he was basically calling his coach an idiot. To me, that's not humility, and I want to be clear about what that actually is. It's performed humility. It's virtue signaling dressed up as self-awareness. The guy doesn't want to seem cocky. He doesn't want the room, even an online room, to think he's got an inflated sense of himself. So he preemptively shrinks. He publicly questions the judgment of the man who watched him train, who has felt his game, who has spent years developing an eye for exactly this kind of decision. And he frames it as being humble. That's not humility. That's ego in a different outfit. Real ego in jiu-jitsu looks like the guy who gets promoted and acts like he can now run the gym. Everyone knows that guy. Nobody likes that guy. But the opposite of that isn't publicly doubting your promotions. The opposite of ego isn't performance, it's just doing the work and trusting the people who are qualified to evaluate it. Here's what I think is actually happening when a guy posts something like that. He's comparing himself to someone else in the gym. The purple belt who's been training for 4 years and moves like water. The brown belt who just got his and has forgotten more jiu-jitsu than most people will ever learn in a lifetime. He's looking sideways instead of looking back at who he was 6 months ago. A year ago, when he first stepped on the mat and had no idea what a shrimp escape was. That comparison is the problem, not the promotion. Epictetus said it plainly. Concern yourself with what is in your control and release what is not. What is in your control is how you train, how you show up, how you respond to bad positions, how you treat your partners. What is not in control is where someone else is in their journey. Their timeline is not your measuring stick, and it never was. When you compare your blue belt to somebody else's purple, you're using the wrong ruler. And when you post about not feeling ready, you're letting that wrong ruler speak for you publicly. Now here's the part that I think gets misled in all of this. Your coach is not guessing. The man who promoted you has been watching you train. He has rolled with you or watched you roll hundreds of times. He has seen how you handle pressure, how you problem solve on the mat, how you treat white belts, and how you respond when you get tapped. He has a picture of you that is more complete than the one you have of yourself. Because he's not inside your head. He's watching from the outside with years of context and experience in informing every observation. When you say, "I don't think I'm ready," you're telling that man his judgment of you is off. You're saying the picture he has of you is wrong, that you know better than he does what you deserve. That's not humble. That's actually pretty arrogant when you think about it that way. Trust your coach, not blindly, but if you have a coach worth having, and if you don't, that's a different conversation, then trust the promotion means something. Trust your coach, not blindly. But if you have a coach worth having, and if you don't, that's a different conversation altogether, then trust that the promotion means something. Trust that he didn't hand it to you to be nice. Trust that he sees something real. Personally, I have never felt that a belt wasn't deserved when I received it, not once. And I say that not to brag, but because I think it comes from a specific place. I trust my coaches. I trust what they see, and I compare myself to who I was, not to who someone else is becoming. When I've been promoted, my coaches have said things like, "No surprise here, Angelo's getting promoted." That's what it sounds like when the process works. Not because I'm exceptional, by no means. Because I stayed in my lane, did the work, and let the people who were qualified to evaluate me do exactly that without me publicly second-guessing them. The stoic piece here is straightforward, but cuts deep. Are you training for internal validation or external validation? Are you on the mat to actually get better, to test yourself, to grow? Or are you on the mat to be seen a certain way by the people around you? Because if it's the second one, that fake humility makes sense. You're managing perception. You're controlling how the room sees you. You're performing. And that performance will follow you everywhere. It's the same guy who won't speak up for what he needs at home because he doesn't want to seem needy. It's the same guy who absorbs things silently because asking feels weak. The same pattern, different location. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a man should not value anything as profitable, which compels him to break his word, to lose his self-respect, to hate any man, to suspect, to curse. The promotion is yours. Own it without apology and without performance. Both of those things are just two sides of the same need. The need to manage what other people think of you. Let that go. So here's what I want to close with. Next time you get promoted, and if you're putting in the work, you will, don't post about not feeling ready. Don't shrink publicly to seem likable. And don't compare yourself to the guy who has 3 more years on you and a different set of gifts or goals. Look at who you were when you started. Trust the man who tied that belt around your waist, and then get back on the mat and keep going. The belt isn't the destination anyway. It's just a marker of where you've been. Own it, and then get back to work. Thank you.